Well, I heard you guys didn't have lasagna, and since I'm the Chop 420 champ, I couldn't come on the show without lasagna.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Chef Wendy, for making me look like a goddamn liar. Now we have lasagna on the show. When I said we wouldn't. But yeah, so we're here now.
Mhm.
Chef Wendy in the building.
Let's go.
Give me some
It's the Lasagna Ganja podcast with Mr. X to the Z exhibit.
And I'm Tammy, aka the Cannabis Cutie.
And we are very blessed today.
Yes.
Yes. We have someone coming on the show that is very good with cannabis and good with cooking food, gourmet food, and bringing it together. Dope marriage. We got Chef Wendy in the house. Chop 420 champion, by the way.
Yes.
So we got a double whammy. And, you know, we have lasagna on the show.
Boom.
Yeah. I heard she has a beautiful lasagna for the Lasagna Ganja podcast.
I feel like it's complete now.
Maybe we have to rethink not having food on the show.
I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah.
I think outside of consuming cannabis, eating would be my next favorite
They go
hobby.
together.
Yeah, the munchies. Lasagna ganja, it's like, oh wow, I'm gonna watch them eat lasagna and talk about weed.
Yes,
so.
but having a kitchen built into the area might be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We just got to figure out the distance for the noise and, you know,
having it in the background might be nice too, because then people will know it's the Lasagna Ganja. They're cooking on there. They're talking about weed.
Huh?
You hear the chef chefing it up.
Yeah, hell yeah. Okay, all right.
Let's do it. I'm in.
All right, sounds good, man. So, you know, it's talking about, speaking of cooking, last weekend, I made some cannabis butter.
Okay.
So I got 3 sticks of butter.
Uh-huh.
And I had like 2 ounces of like just shit I had laying around.
Okay.
And so I ground up 1 of the ounces and I put it in the butter, sauteed it for a second.
Okay.
Then I transferred it into a mason jar. And then I put it into a crock pot and I just let it like sit there for like 4 or 5 hours. I strained the material and boom, I had this like awesome cannabis butter.
All right.
And so I've been like using it on everything. It's like I've been high for like fucking like all week. You know what I'm saying?
Very high today, I must say.
But yo, look, I've been sleeping a lot better.
Okay.
I've definitely been a little more relaxed.
Yeah.
Anxiety, stress levels are low.
Okay.
I feel really good. Now, I don't know if I got shit done.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I got shit done this week, but I feel fucking great.
Okay.
So I'll give you a update when I figure out what my calendar looks like tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah, I haven't checked my emails either, so.
You know what? I think it's a well-deserved break, but how strong is that butter? Like, how much do you use in one serving?
I don't know. I don't know how strong it is.
Okay.
The first thing I did was I made brownies with it.
Okay.
And I cut I'd say like a nice Sharpie size strip of it.
Okay.
Right, because I put it in like a rectangular dish.
Right.
So I have it flat butter.
Yeah.
But it's a nice thick, you know, slab.
Okay.
But it's a nice rectangle too. So I cut a slab, used it in the brownies.
Gotcha.
And first night I was like laughing at everything, right? It was awesome. It was a great push, right? Okay. So then I was like, well, let me take it to the limit a little bit. So in the morning, I got a piece of toast and I just spread it on there.
It didn't do nothing.
Yeah, it did something. I was like, okay. Now,
no, you didn't do nothing the rest of the day. Because you said you put an ounce into 3 sticks of butter. So I'm just like, how are you even functioning right now?
Like I said, I feel great.
Your eyes look like you feel
Yeah,
great.
oh, hell yeah. Let's get into it. Lasagna Gotcha. Stay with us. We got Chef Wendy coming up. It's going down.
It's going down. And lasagna
Yes,
is about to be
yes,
in my
yes.
mouth in a little bit. Bless it.
The Lasagna Gotcha podcast with Mr. X to the Z exhibit.
And I'm Tammy, aka the Cannabis Cutie.
Yeah, so we have Chef Wendy in the building today. Very, very thankful for you being here because we've been going back and forth. We just started this podcast. So, we're like, we're doing it because it's layers to the cannabis industry, which works on paper. But now, you know what I'm saying? You're looking at it, you see the microphone and the fork and the spoon. We have to incorporate food.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so we're going to get it together. You guys are going to grow with us. So the first step towards making a peace offering to Tammy, thank you for bearing with me. Look, I'm open for criticism.
You're open to change.
Yes,
I love
I'm open
it.
to change, man.
You learn. Coachable.
So Chef Wendy, thank you for being on with us today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
I was watching the trailer and I remember, you said there's no lasagna, so I had to do it.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Give us a little background of who you are and how you got into being a chef first.
Sure, yeah. So I'm actually an immigrant. I grew up in China in this really special province called Sichuan. Some people say Sichuan because that's how they've heard it said in America, but it's Sichuan, and in the capital of Chengdu. And it's just such an amazing culture because the land is actually called the land of plenty because it's just so much diverse geography and such amazing abundance of different ingredients that you can play with, different peppers, spices that grow in the mountains and, by the lake. So we have a real foodie culture, so much so that there's no concept of a foodie because everybody is one.
Yeah.
Everyone's super into eating food, making food, having opinions about where the best spot is in town. So, I always grew up with that. And my grandpa always cooked on the weekends and we would have these big family meals. And, from a very young age, I saw that grandpa with his cooking skills is what's bringing everybody together to the table every weekend. So when we moved to Memphis when I was 10, there weren't a lot of big Asian population there. So my parents, found different friends who are also expats who.
Wait, that was a big culture shock. Memphis?
Yeah.
From
From China?
Yeah.
Oh shit. So what was it? Wait, you gotta take us there.
Yeah.
You gotta take us there. So your whole family came?
Yeah, me and my mom and my dad. So we came because my dad had a fellowship at the University of Memphis studying geophysics. So it's like the like earthquakes and things like that, seismic waves and things like that. But that's not what I came for. I came and I was like making all these different friends and they were showing me like the special food in Memphis and I fell in love with soul food, with barbecue.
Yes.
And Memphis barbecue.
So it was a positive experience.
Oh, yeah. I loved it.
All right.
I loved it.
All right.
And then I started making food that was like kind of fusion of like Southern and Chinese.
Okay.
Which you don't really see a lot, but once you start eating it and tasting it, you're like, this makes sense because there is a deep culture in the South too of like food bringing people together and community. So it just made sense for me. And and then coming to California, is where I got exposed to such amazing food and diverse culture too, and the weed. So
yeah. Oh yes. Yes. Okay. So that's an amazing journey, man. Like 10 years old, coming from China to here, like they don't have fucking weed in China, do they?
No, I mean, maybe like the government.
No chance.
No chance. Yeah.
No fucking chance.
Like literally, you will see on the news people getting busted in their apartment with bongs, and then you're like, "What? That doesn't make any sense."
They put that on the news.
Yeah, I saw it when I was.
Oh
and then you're
shit.
just like, "Wow, I guess that's really bad,"
Yeah.
So was your first experiences with the plant in Memphis?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
But it was nothing like what we have out here.
Okay.
Yeah.
It didn't even look the same,
Right.
like especially what I was getting at that age.
Yeah, back in the day, it used to be compressed a little bit.
Mhm.
Lots of seeds, lots of sticks. Tasted really bad.
Yeah.
Reggie.
But it got you high though.
It got you high.
Yeah, it got you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You smoke enough of it.
Yeah,
it
you
got
can get a little
there.
sack for $20.
Yeah. Just pick out the sticks and the stems.
Yep.
Then Chronic came around.
Yes, and then Chronic
And then it was just Chronic. They didn't have no other names for it.
Well, there's popcorn. That's like in between.
Yeah.
Popcorn's a little bit better.
Yeah, with the purple buds. It was,
I mean, it's a little better than the dense brown Mexico weed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was your first experience like with cannabis, and how did you incorporate it into what you do so well?
My first experience with cannabis, oh man, it's a little personal, but I guess I'll share.
Okay,
Let's go.
And so there was this kid that I had a crush on in art class, and he was called the Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man.
Because he made wee muffins.
Right.
So, we got to talking, and then we started, kicking it after school. And he was the first person who, gave me some weed to try.
Yes.
And I tried it, and then, I was feeling good. But then I was also feeling kind of awkward too. And I ended up going in for a kiss, and it was kind of awkward, but it was kind of cute too. So that was my first experience.
Oh, with the Muffin Man.
I have not shared that with many people. I know you were going to ask me that.
Hey, yo, listen, this show goes out to a lot of people, so Muffin Man. Muffin Man, if you're out there, are you single?
No, I'm married.
Oh, okay. Well, you missed it, Muffin Man. You missed it. You don't even know what you had in your, but you had it right there.
Oh,
it's
wow.
Right there.
They say liquid courage, but muffin courage.
Yeah, muffin courage. That's dope. That's dope. Okay. So that was your experience. So you smoked, or it was an edible?
I smoked it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I didn't try the muffin at that point. I just heard about them, But then I did experiment with making brownies when I was in college. And, back then we didn't really have all this wonderful knowledge we have now about dosing. So, in my mind, I was just like, well, we smoke eighths all the time. Just put an eighth in there, But knowing what I know now, I'm like, wow, that is a lot. That is a high dose. And we were smoking as we were making it, because you got to smoke while you're cooking.
Right.
And then we had one, and I was just like down. I remember staring at the ceiling and just being like, "Is this gonna be forever?"
Okay, so look, I got some questions. I got a couple questions, right? Okay, so I know you heard my story about me making some butter, right? Did I do it right or wrong? Like, what did I do? First of all, how do you make it strong? How do you know what you're making?
Well, so first you got to start with the THC percentage that's in your bud,
which I did not do.
Okay.
I just took a whole bunch of jars I had and dumped them.
Wait, you made it like a mix?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's your first mistake. I also heard that you were cooking it for like 4 hours. I don't think you need that long.
No, I put it in a crock pot and cooked it on low for 4 hours. Slow. I was trying a different method.
Yeah, that's a method.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's very old school, but it's like because you get messy with it, because then you're.
Well, what is the best way to make cannabis butter?
So the way I usually recommend it to people is using a French press, because then you had to like strain all that out of the crock pot, right? You can just put it in a French press.
Do I have a French press?
Why not? $20 Amazon.
Most people have a French press.
You don't like
coffee?
What
is a French press? What is it?
Do you drink coffee?
Yeah, but it's a Keurig. It's a cup. You put that shit in there, hit the button. Come on, bro. Like, what? A French press?
Okay, mason jar.
Okay,
Everybody has a mason
I'm good
jar,
with that.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we can speak my language.
So first you got to decarb it so you can activate the THC, because when it's just in the bud, it's actually THCA. So you have to actually decarboxylate it.
Oh, you got to put it in the oven.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But then your house is going to smell like weed.
Yep.
That's fine.
Or you can do that part in a crock pot, right? Or no?
No, you got to do that in the oven.
Okay, so there are devices that will decarboxylate your flour. Like one actually looks like a French press. So a French press is just like a container, like a pitcher, a little small metal pitcher or glass. And then you put your coffee and water in there together. And then when you're done, you press the grounds down and then you just have coffee above. So when you make it like that, you just push the bud down and then you just have like the butter.
Oh,
yeah, and then you just strain it out, and there's no mess.
Wow.
But yeah, I have the Ardent.
I have the Ardent. Yeah, I love
that
the
Tammy's
Ardent.
talking about. Love that. So that's like a professional device that you can buy to do this. You know, so the oven and the French press is just like more of a easily accessible way that most people can do it. But the Ardent is much more precise too. So you can decarb it in there. And then you can also extract it with the oil, all in the same device.
Okay.
It's really cool.
So how much can you put in the device? Because I used a whole ounce of mine. I was like,
I feel like it can hold up to probably about an ounce. I don't know if you would want to, because you're going to put your oil or your fat into it after. So I usually do like an eighth, and then I'll put like a whole thing of oil in there with it.
Really?
Yeah,
and then I let it infuse.
Chicken.
Well, I gotta cook for other people too, you know. So
okay, so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to gauge whether I'm like doing it right first, so I'm not decarbonating my flour, which is not. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
No.
I'm not.
Close enough.
I'm not taking the carbon out the weed.
Decarboxylate.
Decarboxylating. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
See, you're learning something just like me. But I'm trying to figure out how I make the most potent, because there was a time when I did it the same way, but I cooked it on the stove, and that was my fire truck episode. I made some butter that was really strong, and I took a big chunk and ate it on a bagel, right? It's the same kind of way. I looked the same everything. But it knocked me on my ass, where to the point where I was like, I'm going to close my eyes for a second. And then when I closed my eyes, the fire department was in my house. Because I was like they said the blood drained from my face. It was just like, I was like super hot.
Oh my gosh.
Like my ears were ringing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, I want to make that butter and put it. I want to make that
I thought you were
butter.
going to say never want to be there.
No, I want to make that.
Do that to me again.
Whatever that was.
You want that?
I want that.
Oh my gosh. Well, for most people, I recommend like 1 gram to 1 cup. And then that gets you to about 10 milligrams per tablespoon. So it's a very easy, but you can just up the amount that you're putting in, you know? So instead of 1 gram, you can put in whatever.
10.
But you have to keep track of what the percentage is and what the amount is. And another way to make sure you're getting the potency out of it is controlling your temperature. So when I like to decarb, and also not doing it for too long, because, you know, the THC can also denature over time, and, you know, that makes the potency go down. So I like to do 45 minutes at 220 to decarb. And then once I put it in a mason jar or a French press, I put it in a boiling pot of water. So it's not touching the heating source completely, so it's not going to get burnt off. And this way you're preserving the plant flavor too, and it tastes better. So you do that for about an hour at 160 to 200 degrees. And then you'll have really nice, even smelling, you know, yours probably smell very strong.
Yeah, it smells just straight like flour. It tastes like flour too.
It was super green. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to try your way.
I was very proud of myself.
You don't want to try it?
I don't know if I want to do that.
Yo, my percent, you know, I smoked 30 and up. You know what I'm saying? So it was strong. It was out. I got a video. I'll show you. I'll show you the steps.
I believe you.
Yeah.
All right. So you put it in after you decarboxylate it. For somebody at home that's just using a cookie sheet, and then they put it in a French press after the cookie sheet. And then they put the French press in a pot of boiling water for an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And usually I have a thermometer in there just to make sure it's staying between that temperature range.
Okay, cool.
I'm doing dumb shit with my butter. I cooked steak bites and potatoes yesterday. I was like, butter. Bah!
Wow.
Put it in there. I made a gravy with it, put it on there. It smelled like weed. My whole family was like, what the fuck are you eating?
You're living life on the edge.
Oh, this is it.
Wow, I love it. You know they have tinctures that are like 1,000 milligrams.
And I used to like the Korova bar, where it's 1,000 milligram brownie.
Yeah.
I like I have a high tolerance.
When it comes to edibles, I don't know if I have a lot of receptors, but whatever it is, like I like to stay around 30. But somebody accidentally gave me 200 milligrams. And I found out after I fully consumed the whole thing.
Gosh. Nice.
Yeah. So I only saw Rihanna for the Super Bowl, and after that, it was a wrap.
Yeah, but I bet you woke up refreshed.
Nah, I woke up 24 hours later. Refreshed. I missed my Monday. Like, this is supposed to be the drinkers going through this, not the weed smokers. Like, we're supposed to be good right now. I'm still high. It was horrible.
200 is a lot.
200 was so much. I was not ready. I just remember asking a really stupid question, which is not like me. And so I was like, wait a minute. Like, how much was in this? And she's like, I don't know. I was just like, oh no.
God.
So my friend checked the tincture and he's like, there's 300 milligrams missing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm a 20 milligram girl. So
yeah.
You know, and I can smoke a lot. And that's what was surprising to me, even when I overdose on my own brownie, is, when you're just like, oh, I'm a smoker, I can outsmoke most people, I can keep up, and then you don't realize that when your stomach is like, absorbing it into your bloodstream, it's a totally different effect.
Yeah. Right. And once it goes through your liver, that delta 9 THC converts to 11 hydroxy THC, which is much more like psychoactive, psychedelic. It's just a different high altogether. It's way more potent.
Just kicks ass.
Yeah.
Just kicks ass.
Yeah. Something to keep in mind. There are people who edibles don't work at all either, which is, probably has something to do with the way their body metabolizes things, maybe their endocannabinoid system tone. Like, do they have a lot of receptors to kind of bind with the THC? So who knows?
Those edibles are weak as fuck.
Yeah, true. Could be that. Could be that.
Jesus. Yeah. Come have some of my butter.
Yeah. You should start selling it.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Yo, the blackout butter.
Wait, I don't know if that's a good idea for the times.
Oh, people will get it. Get your blackout butter.
Oh my gosh.
No affiliations with any kind of parties or
Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, Bill Cosby shit going on.
Right. This is for positive intentions.
Cannabis use only.
Oh my God. Okay, so Wendy, what do you have coming up in the works? Like, what are you working on, or what should we actually, let's talk about your Chop 420 episode. You won that, right?
Yes. That was the premiere episode, first winner.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. All right. Can you tell us anything about that episode, like that we wouldn't see on the show? That would be nice to know, like behind the scenes.
So I was definitely the underdog. I feel like I was like the youngest and probably the least experienced in terms of chefing, but I knew a lot about weed, and I think overall that gave me the competitive edge. So we filmed during COVID, and so they built this outdoor kitchen set, which is like amazing. I always prefer to cook outdoors, and so it was just really amazing to do all that. And it's real. It's like as soon as you open the box, it's like you gotta go. So it's not like, faked or anything.
Okay.
And so in addition to the regular chop basket, which they called it your stash box, and you had this like green room in the back, and it was like a greenhouse. And inside the greenhouse, there was like all this like amazing weed products. You got salt, sriracha, honey, everything. And they have plants too.
Where's this at?
This was in Palm Springs. We filmed in Palm Springs.
I mean, is it there now? Can we?
No.
Can we come to the next film day?
I was about to say, oh yeah,
cool.
I'm going to the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was super dope, and they had all different types of plants too, so you could even work with the raw plants and the flowers themselves.
Wow.
You know, and I made my Sichuan chili sauce infused, and I used that in the first episode because I was like, I don't know if I want to get chopped, or the first round, so I was like, I gotta get my hot sauce in. You know? So it was super, super fun. I did not expect to win. I really just didn't want to be the first one eliminated. That was my goal. I was like, I don't know if I'll win, but like, let me do that. And I just try to keep a mindset of like, hey, I'm here to have fun. You know, I feel like I can get in my head so much and be such an overachiever about shit sometimes. And that's just not when I'm the most creative, you know, and knowing what the challenge was, which is like, you got to be so creative on the fly. I just knew I had to be so present, and I had to channel my most like confident and like creative self. So, you know, I didn't want to be like too focused on the outcome. I just wanted to do some dope shit that I was like proud of. So, and I was just so surprised at the end that I won. But I also, you know, looking back, I'm like, hell yeah, I did that shit.
Did this experience open doors for you, you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, one, I made friends with like a lot of the other chef contestants because, you know, there's not that many people across the country who are really doing it, especially not at the level that we were doing it. So the network has been amazing. And also, you know, working more with brands. So, you know, I started more as like a private chef, but now I'm kind of moving into working with brands as well because you know, with brands, when they're trying to launch a product, they're really trying to destigmatize and like help build new associations. And I love doing that. I love a creative brief that, you know, allows us to create new associations with the plan and introduce it to people in a new way, because there's been so much like, you know, just untrue and misinformation. So, you know, that's been really, really cool to jumpstart doing that.
Yeah. Would you say that you're interested in, like, how far are you going to go with this? Are you going to have your own, you know, brick and mortar one day? Are you trying to, you know, where do you see this going?
Yes, I'm glad you asked that actually, because you know, right now having like an actual commercial place is pretty difficult, you know, pretty cost prohibitive, and also like the different licensing that's involved with that.
Yeah, fuck.
You know, exactly. That's kind of how I feel. So, you know,
cares.
as a chef, I was like doing these like underground supper club type things, and you know, creating consumption friendly spaces. But it was always so tough because, you know, one, you have to find a new venue every time.
Ooh,
and
I just had a brain fart. Puffer Club.
I think that already exists.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if it's food though.
Well, we'll see what the U.S. trademark says about that.
Right.
I'll be the judge of that.
Right.
No, Puffer Club sounds dope.
Yeah.
No, that is dope. Maybe, maybe you can start it.
No, I got too many shits going on anyway. Yeah, Puffer Club. That sounds good. But anyway, that's what we'll call it.
Okay.
All right, Puffer Club. So, you know, I was puffer cuffing all around town in these different venues, and you know, it would just every time I would just be like a little bit like disappointed in certain aspects, you know, because when you are having a new space, one, you don't get to control the elements and the environment, and also you don't know if the owner is going to really understand the intention and what you're trying to do. So they might be creating like weird energy or like, you know, things like that. And so I really wanted to build my own space. So for the last 3 years, me and my husband have been building a farm to table with cannabis concept on our property. So it's not like a commercial space per se, but it is a event space that we've been doing a lot of really, really cool weed parties at.
All right.
Yeah, and we have a whole garden where we grow a lot of heirloom Asian veggies, and we compost. So it's like we make the dirt, and then a lot of chefs come and they cook with the vegetables, and then they have more scraps that goes back into the compost. So it's all very regenerative. And so for people, they're literally going to be dining and next to the cannabis plant that they're smoking, and eating, you know, the tomatoes and the cucumbers on the plate that they can visually see growing right next to the cannabis plant. So it's like such an immersive environment that you can't help but create this like deep, meaningful new association. So I'm kind of using this kind of environment and the different experiences we're going to do to help destigmatize, and create these more positive, community-oriented associations with cannabis.
When you're doing your puffer clubs, you see how easy that rolled off the tongue? When you're doing your puffer clubs, do you serve like alcoholic beverages, or do you just like, or is it all about the cannabis plant? Don't piss in the wind. How do you see that?
Well, so, it depends. If it's a private thing, obviously I can't tell people what they can and cannot do. But if it's my own pop-up, I tend to like to have it be just cannabis because what I really want to have this experience do is, one, destigmatize and create new associations, but also empower people to learn how to dose themselves, how to have the experience they wanted to have. So in doing that, I really want to kind of isolate, and even just within cannabis though, I want to teach them about what happens when you mix CBD mocktails with it, and what happens when you do some pairings and some infusions. So I try to inject as many different types of ways that you can put weed in food or consumptions, and really try to explain to people, how to moderately dose themselves. So then they come away from it being like, wow, I just learned a lot. Now I'm going to go home and make my own butter, and I know I'm going to have a good experience.
You didn't have an experience unless you don't remember it.
You got to have at least one moment with edibles where you regret all of it.
That's the one thing connecting, I feel like all stoners, because everybody's been there. Even the like super connoisseur experience ones, we've been there.
We've all
That's
been
how
there.
we got to become the connoisseurs.
Yes, exactly. We've been there. You have to check out her venue. Like the garden that she's talking about is just like and she gives people like little cuttings to go like grow their own tomatoes now.
Really?
Yeah. It's so amazing. So you see your flower, you see the tomatoes, you see things, and then you're also sitting where like she had a table built in this old tree that's on the property.
Yeah.
Or next to the old tree, right? But the table is made out of an old tree.
Yes, and they're the same species. So it's a California live coastal oak, and those trees you cannot cut down. California protects them. Like they got helicopters on it, so if you cut one down, they come find you.
What?
Yeah, they're... You know what? I'm for that. I gotta protect nature. We're cutting down too many trees in general all over the world. But when they sustainably fall because of some storm or some shit, then you can, move it out of the way and make different things with it.
Really?
So we actually sourced it from our
What's
neighborhood.
the name of this tree again?
Coastal live oak.
Coastal live oak. And they like protect it?
Yeah.
It's an endangered species.
What?
Yeah. So we have one on the property, and then the tables are made out of it, and they're sourced from the same neighborhood. So they're probably like friends with our tree, through the mycelium network.
You think
Dead homies.
Wait, you think trees are friends?
Absolutely.
They gotta
Absolutely.
be.
Through the mycelium
I think they're
network,
alive.
the mushrooms and the myceliums underneath the earth. Yeah,
Did
they
you ever-
connect. They communicate with each other.
They share resources.
Bro.
They do.
they
You
have-
ever
talk shit
have you
about
ever
the
walked under a
people?
tree when it's hot? It's like, you're like, is it raining?
Huh,
It's
no.
water. coming
Really?
From the trees, yeah.
Oh,
They're
okay.
sweating.
Trees are sweating.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, did you not see Pocahontas?
No, I did not see Pocahontas.
Oh, no.
The trees are sweating in Pocahontas.
Talking.
That they were talking. Lasagna Ganja podcast. We'll be back. I gotta check out Pocahontas and go check out this fucking tree outside. If that bitch is sweating, I'm tripping. What have I been doing?
Transpiration.
Yeah. Lasagna Ganja. It's the Lasagna Ganja podcast. I'm Mr. X to the Z Exhibit.
And I'm Tammy, a.k.a. the Cannabis Cutie.
Yeah, so we have Chef Wendy with us today. Talking about all these wonderful things that you got going on with cannabis and cuisine. You have an outdoor kitchen.
Yes, I built this amazing outdoor kitchen so that it can be a community space for holding different types of cannabis-friendly events. And I also knew that like it was so hard and cost prohibitive for me. So I wanted to make sure that I'm giving back to the community and making that accessible to other chefs. So most of my events are collaborative. It's not just about me as this singular person doing stuff. I really think it's really dope when you can show an array of how different people are inspired to bring their interpretation to the table, and like for example, some of my friends are really into fire cooking. So I have a
wait. Isn't most cooking done with fire?
Live fire cooking. So it's kind of like I guess it's kind of like barbecuing, but you're building different types of live fire for cooking different things.
Okay.
So you can cook like a whole meal. You're not just grilling
like
meat
on
there.
wood, like you starting a fire with wood.
Yeah, exactly. And
Okay.
you have to, so instead of on the stove, where the fire is associated with a dial.
Could be adjusted.
Exactly. Whereas like a live fire cooking, you have to just use your eyes, your nose, all of your senses.
Like the Revenant.
To exactly like the Revenant, and to adjust all of the heat that's going on, and create different piles and arrangements so that you can have high heat, low heat, medium. So you can do
a lot
simmer.
of cast iron pots everywhere.
Exactly, and racks and all of that. So it's also very like primitive, like that's so part of all of our ancestors, and when you have fire and smoke going and there's a crackling of the wood, it's engaging everybody's senses, and when you are smoking weed, your senses are even more heightened. So it's just like really optimizing for that like immersive experience.
Oh,
okay. And what other gadgets do you have on for the outdoor kitchen?
Well, I had to get a big wok burner because I was like, oh, I really want to make garden veggie fried rice. Because we grow all these amazing Asian herbs in there and chilies. So we make really bomb fried rice. And
so how do people find these events? How do they get invited to these things? Is it like a black card only? Is it a secret society? Is it a website? Like, how do you find these places?
Yes. So I'm actually building a website right now that's going to be attached to my existing catering website. So Drizzle.catering is my
Puffer Club.
I know, I should change it to drizzle.pufferclub. And so I'm building an extension from that website where people are going to see all different calendars of events. So whether you're into like backyard barbecue cookouts, or if you're into these 10-course fine dining experience with pairings and all of the jazz, and you can find something for everybody. And also I announce things on my social, like on Instagram. You can follow me at When You're Hungry, WENYER, because it's like Chef Wendy.
Yes, got it. Yes.
Got it. Well, you didn't laugh the first time I said it. I was like, maybe he didn't get the pun.
I saw what you did there.
I love it.
Yeah. So, keep just, follow me, and lots of new exciting things are going to be happening at the space.
Awesome.
Right. And then chefs, can they book the space too to create like somebody in LA that's like, oh, I've always wanted to host an infused dinner? They can also hit you up to host their own private parties?
Absolutely. Yeah. They can either do a collab with me or they can do their own thing. It's really centered around what the chefs will love. And I love seeing the smiling face on chefs.
Because they're high.
And they're allowed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But they get so happy when they walk into the outdoor kitchen because they're just like, every place we go to, it's not designed with the chef in mind. So everything, the placement of the burners, the smoker, the fire pit, the pizza oven, everything makes sense where it's supposed to be. So it's like a chef's paradise to cook in that. And plus you're like not in like this indoor fluorescent light, you're outdoor next to the garden cooking with fire. I mean, what's better?
Yeah, so no gas, no propane, no none of that. It's just like, what about like refrigeration for stuff?
Oh,
like,
yeah. We gotta refrigerate.
Nice. Okay, cool. All right. Well, you said Revenant, so I'm thinking, I'm trying to picture this place. I'm like, I need to go check it out though.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You gotta come to one of my dinners.
I will. I would love to. So I'm trying to infuse a turkey.
Okay. You're getting ready for Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving's right around the corner. What's the proper way to do it? Like, do you like? I don't like for barbecue. You infuse the sauce, of course, and then you could. That's how you do it. That's how you do that. But for turkey, you want it. I want it in the turkey. So how do you
want to inject?
How do you infuse the injection into the turkey? I know they do it with butter and shit like that. But the same thing?
Yeah, pretty much. But you do have to kind of think about how long are you going to bake it for, right? Because if you cook it for too long at too high of a temperature, it starts to not be as potent. And I know you like it really potent.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you might want to use it more as a finishing butter, you know, like before it goes out. Yeah, pour over. Or you can like put a bunch of your very potent butter, rub it all over that turkey and do like 5 minutes on like 400 or something right before it goes out. So then it looks really glistening, you know, and buttery.
Throw some herbs in there.
Yeah. Okay. Good luck coming to my house for Thanksgiving.
Wait, is it going to be in California?
I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to celebrate, but wherever I am, I'm going to put one random like dish out there that's infused.
Please, you gotta tell people. Film crew.
Why do I have to tell people?
It's the responsible. I have to tell you that because I'm a wee chef.
I'm gonna make sure ain't no kids come to the table. But right. I mean, everybody else is fair game. You don't know me. You don't know my family.
No warning before you walk in. Some of these plates might be.
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But I definitely enjoy, you know, finding alternatives to smoking now, right? Trying to figure that out. So edibles is something I'm just diving into and, you know, like finding what's right. But I like to put it on food because I like the way that how I feel.
Ooh, what about drinking?
I don't like that.
You don't like drinkable? What if you make it yourself? So I make this like cannabis sugar.
Too many steps.
I was literally going to tell you the way you do it.
Yeah, too many steps.
It's cool though. Like,
I mean, you could just throw it in your Coca-Cola. Boom.
Really?
That's true.
Or your tea.
Yeah.
I'm going to make you some cannabis sugar.
Okay, please.
And then you can put that in everything. I'll make it super potent.
Okay, cool. Let's go. I'm with that. With that. How do people get in touch with you?
They can follow me on social or they can reach out to me through the email link in my website.
Okay, what are your socials?
It's When You're Hungry, WENYER Hungry. And my website is Drizzle.Catering.
Awesome. Chef Wendy, thank you for joining us on the Lasagna Ganja podcast. We are looking forward to coming to those dinners at Outside Kitchen and Cooking with Fire. It's going down. Oh, the Puffer Club. We coming to that too. Yeah, Lasagna Ganja podcast. You can find us where?
At dcpofficial.com or where any major podcasts are streaming.
That's right. It's going down. Lasagna Ganja podcast. And we got another one. Boom.
Check out the Lasagna Ganja podcast wherever podcasts are streamed.
And check out our separate feed with video episodes.
Available on Spotify and YouTube.
For more information, visit dcpofficial.com.